We should live our lives as though Christ was coming this afternoon. Penalties against possession of a drug should not be more damaging to an individual than the use of the drug itself, and where they are, they should be changed. Nowhere is this more clear than in the laws against possession of marijuana in private for personal use. Therefore, I support legislation amending federal law to eliminate all federal criminal penalties for the possession of up to 1 ounce 28 grams of marijuana. Like music and art, love of nature is a common language that can transcend political or social boundaries. I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. Republicans are men of narrow vision, who are afraid of the future. War may sometimes be a necessary evil, but no matter how necessary, it is always an evil, never good. We will not learn to live together in peace by killing each other's children. America did not invent human rights. In a very real sense, human rights invented America. I believe that anyone can be successful in life, regardless of natural talent or the environment within which we live. This is not based on measuring success by human competitiveness for wealth, possessions, influence, and fame, but adhering to God's standards of truth, justice, humility, service, compassion, forgiveness, and love. When people are intimidated about having their own opinions, oppression is at hand. Earlier in my life, I thought the things that mattered were the things that you could see, like your car, your house, your wealth, your property, your office. But as I've grown older, I've become convinced that the things that matter most are the things that you can't see: the love you share with others, your inner purpose, your comfort with who you are. We will not learn how to live together in peace by killing each other's children. We must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles. We have become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic. Different people, different beliefs, different yearnings, different hopes, different dreams. Failure is a reality. We all fail at times, and it's painful when we do. But it's better to fail while striving for something wonderful, challenging, adventurous, and uncertain than to say, I don't want to try because I may not succeed completely. Put on a sweater. The bottom line is this: peace will come to Israel and the Middle East only when the Israeli government is willing to comply with international law, with the roadmap for peace, with official American policy, with the wishes of a majority of its own citizens, and honor its own previous commitments by accepting its legal borders. All Arab neighbors must pledge to honor Israel's right to live in peace under these conditions. The United States is squandering international prestige and goodwill and intensifying global anti-American terrorism by unofficially condoning or abetting the Israeli confiscation and colonization of Palestinian territories. A strong nation, like a strong person, can afford to be gentle, firm, thoughtful, and restrained. It can afford to extend a helping hand to others. It is a weak nation, like a weak person, that must behave with bluster and boasting and rashness and other signs of insecurity. God always answers prayers. Sometimes it's yes. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it's you gotta be kidding. Human identity is no longer defined by what one does, but rather by what one owns. If you fear making anyone mad, then you ultimately probe for the lowest common denominator of human achievement. My faith demands this is not optional. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I can, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. Since 2001, the U.S. government has abandoned its role as a champion of human rights and has perpetrated terrible and illegal abuses in prisons in Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo, sent prisoners secretly to other nations to be tortured, denied the applicability of the Geneva Convention restraints, and severely restricted time-honored civil liberties within our own country. Certain political leaders of other nations, who are inclined to perpetrate human rights abuses, to quiet dissenting voices, and were previously restrained by positive influence from Washington, now feel free to emulate or exceed the abuses approved by American leaders. Spirit is like the wind, in that we can't see it but can see its effects, which are profound. When our mothers, wives, sisters, and daughters are considered both different and inferior in the eyes of the God we worship, this belief tends to permeate society, and everyone suffers. I'm not in favor of the government mandating a prayer in school because our country was founded on the fact that no particular religious faith would have ascendance over or preferential treatment over any other. We cannot be both the world's leading champion of peace and the world's leading supplier of the weapons of war.